Good morning, Chancellor. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
When you're talking about building these programs for workforce, certificate programs or degree programs, so I'm a little concerned, that's what the community colleges do. So do you feel that you're going to cannibalize the programs at the community college, and is your tuition going to be comparable to them? So, my understanding is you go to community college, a lot of students in the areas go to the community colleges before they go to a PASSHE school. So can you just give me your view on that?
Sure. And again, I refer to testimony I gave to the Higher Education Funding Commission. So, look, going forward, and this is tough for all of us of a certain age to get our heads around. When we went to school, there was sectors. You went to a particular school to go into a particular part of the labor market, or and schools and sectors would focus on particular segments of the student population and particular employers. They would. Today, it's no longer feasible to assume that a student just goes to higher ed, whether 2 years or 4 years, gets themselves stuff filled with information for 2 or 4 years, and then goes on with their life and never returns to college. The journey is constantly into and out of some form of higher education.
But I just don't want to see PASSHE schools turning into community colleges or competing with the community colleges. I mean, they do a good job for the population at that level. And I'm just concerned that, and where's your tuition rate going to be?
So let me conclude the point, if I may. The point is that we need to line ourselves up along those educational pathways, not grab hold to them and say, these are mine. And what we're experiencing here, as in other states, is that, and I understand it, it's a kind of Hunger Games mentality. It's costly. And we saw that recently, in the partnerships that community colleges are establishing with out-of-state big box retail providers. It's costly to our state, it's costly to our students. We have to overcome that kind of gut instinct to protect markets and work together. That work together is going to be driven by employers who are not going to require this sector do that, this sector do that. They're going to require well-developed, articulated pathways where students can go in and out of the workforce between various different colleges who respect and align with each other.
But I think the workforce comes into the community colleges as well to develop those programs. I just don't think we need to cannibalize our two school systems. And I want to make sure it's affordable to the students.
And I want to be clear, if I can, that workforce is not the responsibility of any single sector. I believe that the Pennsylvania state system was developed largely as teaching schools, and last time I checked, education was part of the workforce.
But
so the point is that the workforce is a long and continuous process. How do we work together to align in a way as opposed to command and control?
And I think when we look at, the enrollments being down, so your enrollment's down, the community college enrollments are down, and they're reducing their staff to go with their lower enrollment. So my question is, are you lowering your staffing, reducing your staff to equal proportions? I think the community college enrollment was down by 16%, and they reduced staff by 15%.
Vigorously.
So, and they don't have another group of schools that they can borrow from.
Yeah.
So,
no, vigorously, and that's obviously the thrust of system redesign, financial stabilization. Look, if the community colleges and the 4 years, not just ours, work better together in this state, a lot of these issues, I think about this from a student's lens. We're a confusing mess to a student. A student wants to understand, what's my pathway through engineering? I want to start out as with a certificate as a machinist assistant. But I might end up becoming an engineer, and that pathway is going to take me through a vocational training college, a community college, and a 4-year college. And I want to know what that pathway looks like for over a 30, 35, 40-year period. And we comport ourselves. We are designed to not do that.
Do those, the Nellie Bly grants that they were talking about, would someone who went to a community college first be able to apply for those and then go to the secondary schools? Do you know? Probably a question I should have asked Secretary of Education.
The answer is I believe so. So this program is evolving, as you know, as well as we do. And so I've certainly been I've heard a discussion like that, but I don't know what the result has been.
And again, I think everyone has their path that they can take. And for us, I think when you look at affordable tuition, you want to make sure that it stays affordable. And if you're competing against one another, is that a good thing or is that hurting someone? And And I just want to make sure that
Yeah,
the
I
students
agree
get
with
the
you.
best bang for their buck as well.
And you get the best use of public dollars, and I think we should
Correct.
watch that very carefully. Thank you
Right.
for doing that.
All right, thank you.